Welcome to Friday Friends, RI Elder Info's weekly look at the organizations and individuals providing resources for Rhode Island seniors, caregivers, and professionals.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It is 9 a.m. on Friday, so you know what this means. It's time for Friday Friends with me, Deb Burton, the Executive Director of RI Elder Info and creator of rielderinfo.com. We maintain the most comprehensive resources for seniors, caregivers, and professionals here in Rhode Island. And every Friday, I come on here and share resources that will help you or someone you know remain independent in the community and help in so very many ways. So it's super important that you hit the like button and the share button. Share this with your friends, your family, any groups you're in, because what we're talking about today is something that impacts a very large number of people right here in Rhode Island as well as nationwide. So super important that we get the word out. Speaking of getting the word out, I am really grateful to our sponsors, Oak Street Health. They have a comprehensive primary care practice down in Warwick in the Christmas Tree Shop Plaza, 2 locations in Providence and another in Woonsocket, and they even provide transportation to get there. And I know that's something that, a lot of times becomes more challenging as we get older or when we're not feeling well. Big shout out to United Healthcare. They are a Medicare insurance provider here in the state, and they are more than happy to have a conversation and answer all of the questions that you might have regarding Medicare. So big thank you. Also, big shout out to 321 Media. They are the ones who are working behind the scenes to make this look good, because I am not tech savvy in a lot of ways. So 321 Media is the magic that makes this happen behind the scenes. And if you have ever visited rielderinfo.com, and I really encourage you to make sure you check out rielderinfo.com, that is from the wonderful work of England Studio. They are an award-winning web design team down in the Quonset Business Park. And they are more than happy to have a conversation with you about designing a website that works for you. And more importantly, for the people who are going to be visiting it. So today I would like to welcome Annie and Victoria.
Good morning, Deb. Hello.
How are you today?
We are excellent. Happy Friday to you and Victoria.
Yes, happy Friday. So can you tell us, the Alzheimer's Association, what is going on there lately? Because we know that the incidence of dementia is increasing, and there are a lot of folks who are really struggling. We saw kind of an increase during the pandemic, and there's a lot of folks who are struggling now. So how's the Alzheimer's Association doing?
Deb, we're doing well. Thank you so much for asking. We are across the nation. The Alzheimer's Association is just coming back, and our offices are opening up again. We are having programs and support groups again virtually. And, we are just coming back after really a 2-year of hiatus of all of our offices being closed and offering all of our programs and services and supports virtually or over the phone. So we are just excited to be back. My staff here in Rhode Island are, ecstatic. We're beginning to offer support groups and, services out in the community again. So we're ecstatic about that. We've all felt it. Our clinicians on our 24/7 helpline have been hearing the voices of our caregivers and people living with the diagnosis, how difficult it has been over the last 2 years, caring for their loved ones in a very different way, in a different world. But, we here in Rhode Island, we have made it our dedication and our decision that we are going to be able to offer our signature program this year called the annual Caregiver Journey Conference that we're going to be able to do again in May. And that's, why I was so fortunate to have Deb for you to invite, Victoria and I this morning, because we wanted to tell you more about the conference. We want to get the word out. And, we invited Victoria Parker from the Rhode Island Department of Health, because the Rhode Island Department of Health this year is one of our platinum sponsors for the conference. So I need to, just do an incredible big shout out of thanks to the Rhode Island Department of Health for their sponsorship. So
that is awesome. And, through the pandemic, it's not as though Alzheimer's really stopped. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Victoria, you came on board during the pandemic.
Yes, I did. I started at the Department of Health as the Alzheimer's Disease and Related Disorders Program Manager right at the end of December of 2021. So right through the Omicron surge and now into the endemic. And it's been a learning curve for sure to sort of understand where community-based organizations are in their navigation of the pandemic. And a lot of pivoting has happened, of course. But we are just so thrilled to sponsor this event. We can't wait for it to be in person again and connect with individuals in the community. It'll be my first time getting to an event like this and getting to meet caregivers, people with dementia, and other professionals in this space. So we're just so thrilled to be a sponsor, and really excited that the Alzheimer's Association is back in the community where we know they can do their best work.
That is awesome. And having the position at RIDO, is that really reflective of the health concerns for the public when it comes to Alzheimer's, and how much Alzheimer's and other related dementias are impacting all of us as a public health concern?
Absolutely, Deb, all of that and more. My position is funded by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. It's called the BOLD funding, BOLD, Building Our Largest Dementia. And the Department of Health, RIDO, had received funding to run an Alzheimer's program, and I happen to be the program manager. So yeah, some of our goals are about tracking data, understanding health disparities when it comes to people living with dementia and how to address those. What community interventions can we offer? How do we improve public and provider education so that we know people with dementia and their caregivers are getting the best possible care? How do we focus on prevention strategies and just sort of raising awareness in general to the broader community about brain health? Even people who have healthy cognitive function should know about Alzheimer's and dementia, and we want to educate people to that end. So that's just a little bit about what I do at the Department of Health.
That's awesome. Annie, about how many people in Rhode Island are touched by individuals with Alzheimer's or other related dementias?
So what we know right now is about 24,000 individuals living with diagnosis. The Alzheimer's Association actually puts out every year a facts and figures document. And, you can actually find that document at just alz.org/facts and figures. And it gives the most updated information on health disparities, how the impact being a caregiver has on that individual. And then it just has on the sort of the statistics of, who's diagnosed, age, prevalence, so on and so forth. But we think there's about 24,000 individuals that we know of. And of that population, there's about between 3 and 4% of those individuals living with what we call young onset Alzheimer's, which is for individuals who've been diagnosed under the age of 65.
Wow. So about 24,000 individuals have the diagnosis, like officially have the diagnosis in Rhode Island. That's a lot of people. And then when you think about those individuals who have the diagnosis of Alzheimer's or another related dementia, how they fit in the family unit and how many other individuals are really helping them, live successfully with Alzheimer's and other related dementias. So when we're looking at caregivers, that's the adult children, it's the spouses, it's the partners. What resources will be available at the Caregiver Journey Conference? And it is happening in person, right? Like in face-to-face?
Yes. So, just a recap, our last in-person conference was in 2019. So in 2020 and 2021, our Caregivers Journey Conference was done virtually because that's the only thing we could do.
Yep.
So this year we wanted to really be considerate of our families, and those who want to attend the conference. So we're actually doing a kind of a hybrid model this year. So Tuesday, May 3rd, the conference will be in person at the Crown Plaza in Warwick. And on May 4th, we're going to be offering another full day of conference on a virtual format. And I actually have to say thank you to 321 Media. They will actually be supporting us, with that technological, piece for us to help us with the second day. So we're really excited to have them involved in that too. So I just wanted a little shout out to them. But anybody who attends the conference, what they can expect is an opportunity to meet with businesses, nonprofit organizations, state and federal agencies that provide those resources and supports so that a family unit can support the individual living with the diagnosis as best as they can in the community here in Rhode Island. And we're expecting right now about 30 vendors, as we call them, to attend. And then we have 2 full days of educational sessions. We want our families to, and anybody attending, we want them to walk away with a better understanding of, what they can expect to experience living with that diagnosis of Alzheimer's or another dementia, but also, what they can do to take care of themselves, but what types of supports they may need throughout the journey. We truly just want them to build strength, and so that they can be stronger supporters. I mean, that is our role. I mean, we're very fortunate this year that our keynote address speaker is Amy Goyer, who is from AARP, and she's a author, a columnist, a caregiver expert, and she's actually going to be inspirational in helping lift up and strengthen our caregivers during her presentation. This conference is about teaching skills and about helping our families understand more about the disease process. So we actually have another presentation that we're doing at the Crown, and it's our her name is Patty O'Brien, and she's actually going to be talking about personal care and how to provide that person-centered personal care, because for so many of our caregivers, it's a struggle day to day. How do I support that person, so that they feel supported, with doing a very personal task and day in and day out. So we want to give our family members and, even our professional caregivers who can attend, we want to give them skills so they can take back into the community so they can support that individual.
I think that's something that is really important. We don't think about when a family member gets diagnosed with Alzheimer's or another related dementia, that those around us were probably not ever taught how to be a caregiver. And, sometimes it can be a real struggle with, helping a loved one get into the shower and get washed up. And if you've never been educated on it, it can be really frustrating. So I think it's really cool that to be able to go to this conference and get the training on this and be able to help navigate with your loved one maybe a little easier. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Do people have to register for the conference, or can they just walk in?
We do want people to register.
Okay.
We need registration. We need the numbers so that we can fulfill, because we will be having lunch at the conference, and we'll also be having a light, breakfast, not breakfast, but really just sort of a snack while people are, so we need that number. So we need to know exactly who's attending. So people can go to our website at alz.org/RI, and you can see it down at the bottom of the screen scrolling. Or you can call our helpline at 1-800-272-3900. Any one of our clinicians can help register. But, I encourage people to go to the website first so that they can actually look at the full, day's agenda, so they can, choose the sessions that they'd like to attend. And that's really crucial for our direct care professionals who wish to attend. We are offering CEUs for nursing, social work, and our community health workers. And there is a fee for them to attend. So since we are, providing CEUs, but again, go to that website, look at the full array of our program and, sign up. So.
That is awesome. Do they have to sign up for the second day that's virtual in order to get the link, or can they just sign on?
So as long as they register for the first day, they will not automatically, the day before. So on May 2nd, I will actually be sending out a link to all of our registrants to attend the second day. So they will get a full, a welcome from me, just some instructions about, both the days of the conference. There'll be the link to the second day and to sign in virtually. So that's how we're going to do it this year.
That's awesome.
I have to say, Annie, I did register last night. It's a very easy process through the website. I definitely recommend scrolling through some of the other conference material that's there on the registration page, because it gives you a good sense of some of the descriptions of the presentations that you will definitely want to take a look at this year. So fairly easy process, but of course, as you mentioned, the helpline is also available for anyone who needs help with registering for the event.
Awesome.
And I'm going to just say I want to thank the two of you, because you both have been part of our conference committee this year. And, we have a small team of committed volunteers who have helped us organize the conference. So I thank the both of you from the bottom of my heart for, being part of this committee and, helping us make this a great conference this year. So thank you to the both of you.
Of course.
Victoria, I have a question. For the conference, is RIDO requiring masks to be worn, or can people not wear masks, or is there a recommendation from RIDO about the masks? Because we all want to stay healthy, and a lot of times, as we get older, our immune system might be a little more fragile than, your average 20-year-old. So where's RIDO at on this?
Absolutely.
Not that you speak for entire RIDO, but
no, and trust me, I do not. But mask wearing at this point in time is optional in public settings. So it will be optional to wear a mask at this conference at the Crown. The messaging from the Department of Health broadly is, wear a mask if it's something that makes sense for you. Of course, if you are someone who's not vaccinated, you don't have your booster shot, you haven't been in crowds, perhaps you have some health conditions that you might be worried about, that would be all reasons for you to wear a mask. And it's certainly welcomed at the event. For many of us, this will be our first time being with a lot of people in one room. So, that can be kind of overwhelming in a lot of different ways, but mask wearing is certainly welcome, though not required. And of course, hand washing, regular hand washing. I know, Annie, there will be multiple sanitation stations and hand sanitizers, and I believe everyone will be getting one in a little goodie bag. So that will be available for you to use throughout the day. And lunch can also be, you could take your lunch outside, or you could, sit in an area that isn't as crowded, if that's something that that you might be thinking about in terms of attending the conference. So masks are optional. They are not required, but they are certainly welcome if that makes sense for you.
That's awesome. Like Grandma used to say, wash your hands and keep your hands out of your face.
That's what we say.
And I think, part of the committee this year, we've really, when thinking about, and while we were organizing the conference, we were like, we were very concerned, about just us all coming, back in together. So we have, limited the number of people who are attending the conference. So we want to have more room at the conference. We are making available N95 masks, like you said, the hand sanitizer. We're hoping to, going to be more spread out. So, we're doing everything that we can to, make this a great event, and that people are feeling safe, and will just, get the education and the resources that they deserve when they're caring for someone living with dementia. So.
Awesome. What time is it? What time does it start?
Okay, so registration or time for registration check-in starts at 9:00.
Okay.
And our first, we're going to be kicking it off at 10 a.m. In the ballroom, the grand ballroom at the Crown Plaza in Warwick.
Nice. And then it goes until what time?
It goes until 4:30. There's two actually very special sort of events that are happening at the conference. We will be having a music performance that is happening during lunch, which I'm not going to give any more away. And then at the end of the conference, we're actually going to be doing a yoga and meditation session. So because we want our families and we want our attendees to leave feeling inspired, strengthened, and hopefully they're feeling calm when they leave the conference, that they know that they've, learned a lot. They've, gathered new resources and, services that can support them, and they can leave in a good way at the end of the day.
You make a really good point that when folks leave, to have them be more calm and relaxed. And one of the ways a person can kind of relieve fear and anxiety is receiving information. And it's, if you kind of have an idea what to expect or what's coming at you, you can kind of prepare for it, and it reduces anxiety. So I think, having this Caregiver Journey Conference come back after, being a couple of years not being able to meet in person, I think this is going to be absolutely amazing, because people really need this information. Because unfortunately, Alzheimer's and other related dementias they're really on the rise. And if we, as the caregivers or as the individuals who maybe are diagnosed, if we can kind of see what's coming around the corner, it's a little less scary. So what was the day of the conference again? May 3rd?
May 3rd, Tuesday, May 3rd, in person at the Crown.
Okay.
And then Wednesday, May 4th, virtual.
Do you have to attend both, or can you attend one and not the other if your schedule permits, or is it recorded so I could catch it later?
So this conference is, we encourage that people attend both days. And because we're not repeating any sessions, any of the presentations on the second day, they're all their own presentations. And so we encourage, we don't know yet what we're doing when it comes to recording. So we just really want people to attend as much as they can.
That's really important. In prior years, there had been the opportunity for individuals who are caregivers to bring the individual that they're caring for, and there was an area where they could be supervised and engaged with. Is that doable this year in light of COVID and all of these new changes and kind of the weird new normal? Is that available?
Yeah, it is not this year. We did make the decision early on that, with us just coming sort of now that we're in this, sort of where we are right now with the pandemic and endemic, we're not there yet. So hopefully next year is, we're coming back slowly. We're coming back with just, the fact that we want people to be safe. We want to be able to provide this information. And so hopefully next year in 2023, we'll be able to have that type of service at the conference again.
That's being safe is the really important thing. So, baby steps forward, and I'm super excited about this conference. Mm-hmm. Have folks check in at 9. They're going to stay there till 4:30ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. When you have these conferences, like pandemic aside, do you find that the caregivers who come kind of get to forge friendships among the other caregivers? Do they kind of look forward to seeing each other every year at the conference?
Yeah. And that's, one of the things that I've missed, I have to admit, just seeing, I have some caregivers who've probably been to all 11 conferences, and, that and they look forward to seeing one another. And I think there's a lot of that. I think there's a lot of that excitement to to see individuals and to see my staff and to see our volunteers that have been part of the conference over the years. Yeah, so it's there's that excitement. So
Yeah. And I think vice versa, for some of the organizations attending, including the Department of Health, it's my opportunity to forge relationships with people in the community that I don't get an opportunity to do often in my day-to-day work. So, and I would definitely be speaking for some other community-based organizations that are attending. They are just so thrilled to be getting back into the community and reaching people and information sharing. To your point, Deb, about you're going to be sort of not inundated with information, but you're going to be able to talk to all these vendors that you haven't had a chance to speak to in person for quite some time. And we've really encouraged our vendors and presenters to give out materials as well. So don't feel rushed to have to remember everything the day of. Certainly there will be flyers and brochures and other information takeaways for people to leave the conference with and always follow up with later. So lots of information sharing, lots of opportunities to build relationships.
That's good, because so often, like, you go to a training or you go to an event, and as you drive away, you're like, oh shoot, I wish I had asked, like, fill in the blank. So it's good that there'll be individuals that will be available after the conference to help address those needs. Now that the pandemic is becoming endemic, or we're kind of getting used to it, I guess, does the Alzheimer's Association, will it continue with the 24/7 support line? So if somebody, has an issue at 2:00 in the morning with a loved one who insists it's time for breakfast, will the Alzheimer's Association continue with that around the clock?
Oh, yes. So, Deb, this is our 24/7 helpline is really our signature gateway into our programs and services and everything that we do. Since the inception of the Alzheimer's Association, we have had a 24/7 helpline. And that has not changed. I know during the pandemic, we had an increase in, staff who were, overseeing it because there were more calls coming in. And yeah, that is still available. It's kind of, I always say it's that, that secret ingredient that a lot of people aren't aware of. And, we just really encourage people to know that number. And, it is, if you are, struggling with, your loved one who's now saying, I want to leave the house, or, not too sure how to handle a situation, reach out to one of our clinicians. Our clinicians are truly, expertise and knowledgeable in dementia care. And so we can truly support that individual, give advice, tips, topic sheets, and then, just talk about, planning, what maybe be, where they are at that point in time when they make that call. And, what do I need to do? A lot of times, our clinicians help with just making decisions, and kind of supporting them around, what might be the best decision for that individual, where they are, where they're at that point. So,
and that's the 1-800-272-3900 number, right?
That is correct. Yep.
Okay. And if people maybe aren't tech savvy and can't register online, they can call that number to register for the conference?
Yes, absolutely. They can call that number. They can always call me too at our office number at 401-421-0008, extension 9704. I am more than happy to, help them as well. And if I can't, if I don't pick up, it'll go to our helpline, and one of our clinicians, our registration staff can, help them as well.
Awesome. And at the conference, well, let me back up. On April 5th, so just a couple weeks ago, there was some changes in some of the guidelines for the cost share program for individuals who need help at home, to include individuals who are younger with a diagnosis of Alzheimer's and other related dementias. So more people are now eligible to get help at home. Will the conference have any speakers who are discussing the earlier onset or individuals who are younger with Alzheimer's?
That's a great question. Yes, this year we are. We actually have a special panel session where it'll be moderated by a colleague of ours, Jody DeRamo, who actually runs and facilitates a young onset support group. And she will be interviewing and talking with 3 of our young onset caregivers. Unfortunately, all of their loved ones have passed, but they're going to be sharing sort of their experience with what the diagnostic process was like for them, what just it was like here in Rhode Island to find support and resources, and then just to really share, their experience of how they took care of themselves, and and the types of supports they had circle around them beyond paid support. So, and how important that was to them. And they each have a very different story to share. So, that will be at the Crown on the 3rd, and I look forward to that panel, because I know these particular caregivers, they have been wanting to do and share their story and share their experience for many years now. So, we look forward to being able to do this finally.
Awesome. So let me just make sure I've got it all down. It's Tuesday, May 4th at the Crown.
Tuesday, May 3rd at the Crown.
Jesus. See, I might need to get tested. So Tuesday, May 3rd at the Crown, and check-in is at 9. You do have to pre-register. The speaking starts at 10. I'm thinking probably before the speaking starts, there'll be some kind of little breakfast sort of pickies, but at that time, it's not really breakfast time. So just something little to snack on. And then that goes on. We have our speakers going on. Lunch will be provided, which is also why people really need to register and not just walk in. And it goes to like 4:30 on that day. And then the next day it's virtual. But it's always best to come in person.
Correct.
And we know that at least 24,000 people are impacted here. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And if you think about each person has a person, that's 48,000 people. That's a lot.
That is a lot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I just, and we know that there's even more of those caregivers out there as well. So, it takes a village to support someone living with a diagnosis, and it tends to not be just family members. So it tends to be friends and, people from our parish, and, people from their poker club, or, so it's more than just that individual family member that supports that individual. So, so, I'm excited, and I'm, it's a week and a half away. So, we still, a lot of work to do, but we're ecstatic. And I just can't thank the Rhode Island Department of Health for their sponsorship this year. And it's just, wonderful to work with Victoria and the rest of her team at the Department of Health. And Deb, thank you again too for, being on the committee, both of you. And we look forward to seeing everybody at the conference.
Awesome. I'm so glad you guys were able to come on today and share this, because after having the hiatus for a couple of years of being able to see people in person and have, real heartfelt conversations, I'm really excited about this conference coming back.
Yeah, we are too, definitely.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Enjoy.
Well, everybody, I'm telling you, it's going to be an amazing conference. And after having been on hiatus, for a while, for being able to meet people in person, I think it's going to be great. But it's also really important that you register. So make sure that you go to the alz.org/RI. Or if you're not tech savvy, you can always call the 1-800-272-3900 number. And since there's so many people here in Rhode Island that are impacted by Alzheimer's and other related dementias, I really encourage you to share and like and help get the word out. It's going to be so important. On a slightly different topic, if you happen to miss it yesterday was our fabulous second annual Calling All Women Warriors virtual veterans conference. And if you missed it and you're a veteran or you care for a veteran, you know a veteran, I encourage you to go back and watch the second annual Calling All Women Warriors conference, because it was absolutely amazing and the speakers were great. So encourage you to do that too. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing you all next week, and be well and be kind.
If you like this video, please follow us on social media and subscribe on YouTube. For more information, visit rielderinfo.com or call 401-585-0509. If you have any questions, email deb@rielderinfo.com.